Hey everyone, Mark here. Welcome back to the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast. Thank you for listening. I'm joined very generously by the lovely and talented Emily Swallow, currently beating viewers' hearts into submission on the hit Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian as the Armorer. Emily, thank you so much for taking a moment to talk.
My pleasure. Although I don't feel like I'm beating anyone into submission. I feel like the Armorer is a little more laid back than that.
Fair enough. I was trying to make a hammer pun, but I'll let you have it. First off, how is Colorado Springs Comic-Con treating you?
It has been fantastic so far. I was here last year. I love coming to Colorado Springs, partly because I just love Colorado. It's gorgeous here. But the people are all wonderful and enthusiastic and friendly, and it's just a great place to be.
This is my second year. I saw you here last year as well. I traveled across the mountains for this. It is a really fun event. Aside from coming to cons and not talking about Mandalorian Season 3, which we won't talk about in a second, what have you been up to for the last little bit?
Well, since I was last year, I was shooting Mandalorian Season 3, which we won't talk about because it's not awesome or anything at all like that. I have been traveling quite a bit, some for conventions, some not. I've been road tripping up to Seattle. I have been working on some other projects that I'm not supposed to say anything about, which is so boring. But I feel like that's how things go these days. You just can't, you're not supposed to talk about anything.
The NDAs are a killer, aren't they?
I did just do a play in Los Angeles, which I can say plenty about, but of course nobody can really see it unless, I love doing theater.
Is it classic play, new play?
It was King Lear, Shakespeare play, and it was fabulous to be on stage. I love working on stage with a live audience, and it was the first time I'd done that in 4 years.
As a guy that has a master's in English literature, I appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome.
I wish I could see it.
I wish you could have too. Yeah, it was wonderful, and I love getting to be right there with the audience and doing something that is so immediate and in the moment and doesn't require. And now don't get me wrong, I love all of the technology that we get to take advantage of in Star Wars, but every once in a while it's nice just to be on a stage with an audience, not wearing a mask and armor and dealing with pyrotechnics and the volume and all of that.
Fair enough. Let's not talk about Season 3. Let's just talk about the Armorer's character in general real quick, because I don't want to keep you too long. Would it be fair, because this has been bothering me, and I want to know if I'm way off base on this. Every time I see the Armorer, she's this very, you said she doesn't beat people into submission. She's very laid back. There's almost a Zen-like quality and a religious overtone, like she's some sort of combination of the Pope and the Dalai Lama for the Mandalorians. Am I completely off base? I mean, how do you approach that presentation of her being like the keeper of the lore, if you will?
I think that that's a great combination of people to point out when you're talking about her. I do think that she is the one who keeps the Mandalorians connected to their spiritual center. And I think one of the things that I have really enjoyed about playing her is that she, you have this group of people who have become very fragmented, and some of those reasons are totally understandable. Some of them are very good. They were united around more common purposes to begin with, and there have been different ways of doing things, and that's okay. But I do think that it's important that she reminds them that they have all had a common purpose and that there are things that unite all of them. And I think especially in this day and age, we all need that reminder. We all need that reminder that there's more that we have in common than that separates us. And I love that she is so connected to that spiritual core, and that she is somebody who, I don't think that she is necessarily like a mystic who like sees the future, in a very clear, certain way. But I do think that she has the ability to sort of see she's willing to sort of see a little bit farther down the line than other people might be, and so she's more patient with the decisions that she makes and the way she might guide people, the way that she might guide Mando. She can see sort of what he might need down the line and what kinds of lessons he needs to learn, and she fascinates me that way. And I try to learn from her as I am learning how to play her as a character.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't completely off base. Before I let you go, since this is a movie podcast, let me ask, have you seen any good movies lately?
I have. Every time somebody asks me one of those questions, though, I completely blank. What have I watched? I don't...
Are you on the Top Gun Maverick?
I still haven't gotten to see that.
Did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Oh, yes, I did watch that. Holy smokes. What? And I've been hearing about it and hearing about it and hearing about it. And then I watched it on a flight because I recently had a very long flight between LA and the UK. And I finally, it was on my flight, so I watched it. And my the people sitting around me had to be subjected to me going, "What? No way! Oh my gosh!" And then just being so moved also by the simplicity in a really wonderful way. You know, you have this visually stunning and stunning with all the ideas of this film, but at its core too, the simplicity of the human connection and what those characters needed was so moving.
Speaking of simplicity, let me throw one more at you. You might have seen Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
No, I haven't seen that. Should I?
Yes. Oh my goodness. That if you want to, you'll almost cry. You might actually cry, but you'll definitely almost cry.
Okay.
It's so wonderful. It just really, really is. I'll recommend another film for you when we're done because I can't talk about it yet. But thank you for taking the time. I see you now have a line again, so I will let you get back to that. I appreciate it. Hopefully we see you in Salt Lake again. I know you've been there before. We will get you there again. If not, I'll probably see you here next year. If you like Colorado Springs, I'm sure we'll truck back over the mountains again. Anything you want to plug before I let you go?
I do, because one of the things that I've started doing at conventions that I'm doing here is raffling off a signed Funko Pop, because there's an organization that I am working with called Voices Against Cancer. So we're going to raise some money for children's cancer research. I did a fundraiser for them in Sioux Falls a few months ago and had such an incredible experience there and just believe so strongly in the work that they're doing. So if you come see me at a convention, you will probably see that I'm raffling off a Funko, and I would love it if you just put in $5 and you could win a Funko, but more importantly, you're putting money towards a really great cause.
Absolutely. Cancer sucks. Thank you again. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.